bad. It's just they have such a finite amount of time now that if it's not great, that's all you get is that bad taste in your mouth. Look what they did with Bray. He comes back at Mania. The crowd is going bananas, right? Like totally bonkers for him. And then it petered out with that stupid finish. Really, the unkillable monster is killed immediately because of goo. Mm-hmm. And then you don't do anything with it, and then he's gone.
Right.
And now he's not even in the company anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say because I feel like I'm going down a bad path here with WWE. But I will say, I loved Finn and Sammy this week. I loved Finn and Sammy.
Oh yeah,
that was a fun match.
Knew it was going to be a banger, and they just solidified it. I mean, two of the best. We say this about a lot of people, but I think with those two guys, we can agree. Finn and Sammy, truly two of the best workers in the world.
Oh, yes. I had a really hard time this past week because I want to see Woods win King of the Ring, but I did not want to see Woods beat Ricochet because I love Ricochet so much.
Yes, you know he's a favorite of mine.
Yes. But it's hard to be mad at either of them actually, losing. But speaking of losing, the Lucha Bros dropped their AAA straps to the I quote, the greatest luchas of all time, FTR.
Yes,
in disguise.
The mysterious luchadors in green.
Yes. In their promo afterward, when it was Andrade and FTR, when MJF came up,
in the stairwell,
they were all yelling in the background. You could hear FTR yell, "We're the greatest luchas of all time." And I just think that's going to be incredible when they have to go. They probably won't do the AAA titles in AAA. They'll probably do it in AEW with somebody else. That's my guess. Or the Lucha Bros win it back, or maybe it's PMP. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that was such a great swerve. AAA loves doing weird stuff, so I think it's perfect for them. But I laughed so hard at the start of this match when who was in there first? Was it Cash? I can't remember.
Yes. I wanted to say it was Dax, actually.
I think you're right. I think it was Dax. I think it was Dax, yeah. Trying to do lucha stuff in the ring and make it look fluid was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. Because it was just like, it was like watching a brick roll around a basketball court. Unbelievable, but it was so entertaining. It was so entertaining watching him try to get out of the arm drags and stuff. And it was incredible. The demasking spot was so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Great gift.
There were a couple of spots in this match that I loved. But I'll let you talk about those if you have any favorite spots about this. But I love CM Punk on commentary. I love him more on commentary than I love him in the ring right now. But I really like him in the ring with the young guys. It's been great. The CM Punk leaning into that's definitely FTR. Like just not even pretending to be tricked by it. I thought was great.
Yes, it was.
That Penta assisted top rope double drop kick that Phoenix did.
Yeah.
Amazing. Everything they do, they put on some kind of spectacle. FTR is my favorite tag team currently. Mm-hmm. I love everything they do. It's so old school. But they make it work with everybody. They go in there with any style and somehow it works. Even if it was ridiculous with what they were doing tonight, once they were allowed to be FTR when the masks came off, it worked incredibly well with Penta and Phoenix, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. That match, I'm assuming we'll get that match at another time, particularly at Full Gear. And it's going to be so great, man. The Lucha Brothers are at the peak of their powers right now. I know it's weird to say that because they just lost the AAA belts, but what they do is how they perform. Their matches are such a spectacle. Love Pentagon. And it's funny, I think when their team first got notoriety in Impact and then in AEW, Penta really seems like the star of that tag team, but I think time has shown that Phoenix is really the gem of that duo.
Yes.
Again, Penta, great. But what Phoenix does, I don't think I've ever seen before. I mean, it's total Rey Mysterio, shades of Rey
Yes.
in
Yes.
WCW. The way that guy can maneuver around the ring. Even that cool move he does, and he did this obviously in the FTR match where he gets thrown into the ropes. But
Yeah, I did it twice.
yeah, but maneuvers himself
Yeah.
where he can just like
Yep.
sort of. There's some better words to describe it, but I know you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully our listeners do
Yeah.
too.
The it's like a 619 that
Yes.
stops halfway and then
Yes.
backs up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
619 Matrix esque. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever seen that before, and he does it so fluidly. And when he walks across the ropes, I'm always thinking like, man, I hope this dude doesn't fall. I hope he doesn't slip. And he never does. He is so agile, and I think he really is someone who shows what AEW has capitalized on, that not
Mhm.
every person has to be a promo wrestler. I don't know that I've ever heard Phoenix speak for extended periods. Granted, they have
Right.
Alex Abrahantes as
Mhm.
their manager, but all you have to do is give Phoenix, give Penta 10 minutes on TV, and we're gonna fall in love with them and buy the shirts and root for them.
Yeah.
I don't need him to speak. I just want to see him do that 619 Matrix move and kick people in the face. That's all I
Yes.
need.
I his crossbodies are so it's probably my favorite in the business right now
Wow.
because he extends his legs back and gets his arms all the way behind his head when he does it.
Right.
And it's just I don't know whose I love more. There's a couple of high flyers that I love when I watch them go off the ropes. Montez Ford is top of the list
Absolutely.
right now.
Yeah.
The best splashes in the game are the Usos. I don't even want to hear an argument for anybody else.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. It looks incredible every time they do it. But Phoenix just kind of doing whatever he wants off the top every single time. I want to know when Alex does Penta says if he talked to Chris Jericho and Jericho was like, no, just take your time with it and it'll get over. Because I got the word it over. Here's how you get
Oh yeah.
these phrases over, right? Like I feel like that's absolutely something that happened where he was like, yeah, I clicked a pen and said, you just made the list, and the whole crowd would pop for it. So if you just keep going out there and going, Penta says, eventually people will start saying it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that in an interview, I think you and I listened to the same interview. I think it was on Talk is Jericho with Adam Cole is repeating his name over and over in the ring. Adam Cole, baby. He took that so that he could, like, even if they don't remember the match, they'll remember him. If they don't remember anything else, everybody will leave knowing who he is. And I think it's really fun watching it now as an adult, as opposed to a junior high kid, being in on it and getting to watch how maybe they're trying to do different things has been a lot of fun to analyze and watch. To see what's working, what's not, watching them shift, watching them lean into mistakes. The wet duck fart that was the end of the death match where the sparklers went off and the rest of the pyro didn't.
Yes. Moxley versus
And then,
Omega.
Yes, and then Eddie and Mox leaning into it and just saying like, I can't believe how bad at bombs Kenny is, and making it a thing and just burying how bad the pyro was for this huge moment of pay-per-view where the last thing you see is and that's it. That's all you get. And the audience booing.
Right.
And that's the end.
Yeah.
Oh. And they've come back and they've gained viewership and they've been doing things in a way that makes sense, that I think they know we have long memories.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Colt Cabana and CM Punk to come face to face. I really hope they can make that happen and make it work where they're not going to end up shooting on each other, but I would love to see that. But anyway, back to the actual show. I thought Sheeta fighting Deeb backstage was great during the promo.
So great.
I also thought, holy shit, when Anna Jay hit Britt, that thumped. I don't know if that was close to the mic or what, but that was a pop on some meat right there. That sounded painful.
Yes, it did.
She hit her hard, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think we get that match on Friday, I believe, on Rampage.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and that's one that I don't think we need to worry about rankings. I don't know where Anna Jay is now in the rankings, but you set that up backstage. We know that their shoot partners, Jungle Boy and Adam Cole, have beef, so it's perfect. We want to see it, and they're giving it to us.
Yeah, I think they're building it slowly and correctly. This Jungle Boy Adam Cole stuff has been going for a while, and I'm not ready to see it go away. I am ready to see Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page not have to have a mouthpiece because they're great talkers, especially Ethan Page. My God, is that guy good on the stick?
Yeah.
But Dan Lambert came out and cut a promo on Jericho and Miami. Jericho returned favor. Sammy Guevara returned favor. But despite this being a way to set things up and having Proud and Powerful come out, Santana and Ortiz come out and speak to Miami in Spanish was awesome. And then go into like, hey, we've been doing this other thing. But then we saw our brothers, because we're still part of the inner circle, even if we're not all together all the time, it's still a thing. We're fighting you morons. My question here is, how do you feel about all the bitches being thrown around?
Oh, I hate it. It does nothing for me.
Yeah,
I hope you agree with me. I think it's terrible.
No, it's awful. It's lazy. If you want to insult them in a way that doesn't involve calling them a bitch or saying something about balls.
Right.
Unless you're going to turn it into a chant. Like, I was okay with Bryan Danielson turning balls into a chant for Kenny Omega. That was funny. But
Kenny no balls.
Kenny no balls. But yeah, just going like, we'll see you later, bitches. Really? That's what we're doing? That's all you got? Like, I kind of want the other guys to win now.
Yeah.
But anytime somebody says something about balls or calling them a bitch or something penis related, and any sort, we can count on good old JR saying, oh, it's getting a little personal. Whispering it into the microphone.
Yes.
Which pops me every time, because it's like, really, this is the moment that's too far for you, JR?
Right.
This is it.
Good old JR. Yeah, man, it's interesting because you and I feel this way sitting at home, and yet to me, it seems like when they say bitches or whatever their very middle school taunt is, it seems like it always gets a reaction from the crowd, which I find interesting. I think last night we saw the Inner Circle get a reaction when Danielson said it, and this kind of crosses the company boundaries. WWE, their faces do this a lot too, where they say bitches, and it's just the crowd gets so into it, and yet I'm at home thinking, oh man, we stopped using that in like 8th grade. It's not. Yeah. It doesn't. Okay, so now we're gonna have some fisticuffs because you called me a bitch. Okay. I thought that was done a long time ago.
At least, even though Jericho does that a lot too, at least he's leaning into fat face dipshit, and he's trying to make it a thing. And sticking with fat face dipshit, at least staying away from the sexist stuff, right? Like, just I'm gonna keep away from that, because going like you're a bitch is, well, we know what it means.
Yeah.
And then how do you? I don't know. Just everything about it feels wrong, and it being overused, because then it doesn't have the same kind of sting when the women use it on the women, and they do it all the time. It's like Inner Circle is calling everybody a bitch, but then Jade Cargill comes out and says, I'm that bitch, and now I'm confused. And why do we keep saying bitch on the show? Why am I saying bitch still right now? I've said bitch no less than 45 times in a quick succession.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Future TBS inaugural champion Jade Cargill, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with you, and I think what's interesting, and hopefully a topic we'll kind of dive into on a future podcast, is I think you and I both really love what AEW is doing by and large. Certainly, like you said, you have a tag team such as Men of the Year, or even